Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married
And bored. All right, well, the music's over, Ange, so we have to start the show.
It's time.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Married and Bored podcast with Christian.
And Angela.
We're so happy that you're here today again, listening, and we hope we're doing well. We hope you're staying cool this summer.
Yeah.
I think we're at day, 374 of over 100 degrees here in Phoenix.
Way. Yes, it does feel that way. Your sister and brother-in-law just put they bought like 165 pounds of ice and put it in their hot tub.
In their spa to cool it down.
Yeah,
it probably lasted like 6 minutes.
But that's how desperate we are in
That's
Arizona.
a classic Arizona thing to do.
Okay, but we don't have to shovel heat like all the people that have to shovel snow.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's miserable here in Phoenix, so we hope everyone everywhere else
is not as miserable as us.
Has like good weather. What's the word I'm looking for? Tolerable summer conditions.
Mm-hmm. Well, good news, Christian. Board games are usually played indoors.
That's true. So we don't go outside.
Where there is heating or air conditioning, depending on the climate.
I'm pasty white, so I can't go outside.
No, you turn into a lobster.
I melt.
Yes.
Like butter.
Like butter. Like butter, baby.
Oh, man. So it's been a few weeks. Last episode, I believe we talked about Root. We had a great time.
Root again.
We hope we learned you guys something
Nope.
about Root.
Rewind. We hope we taught you guys something.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed the episode. I will always like talking about that game, especially the more I play it. So,
well, and you know what? I just realized is we have another again episode right now.
That's true. We're doing back-to-back sequels.
Wow.
This is pretty crazy. We're talking about Outer Rim, specifically the unfinished business expansion. So we are excited to talk about that. But first,
let me take a selfie.
Let's start the show like we always start the show and sing a duet. So, no. Angela, what's been going on with you in the world of board games?
What's been going on with me? Well, it's summer, and so our kids are not in school, which means we are home and enjoying each other frequently.
Oh, you say that through gritted teeth?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's wonderful. We've been pulling out a lot of games. Last episode, we talked about playing Marvel United together.
We got the big Kickstarter, so we have thousands of minis.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like thousands. We've also played, before that, we were diving deep into Marvel Champions.
Yep.
Which yesterday.
It was this weekend, yeah.
Yeah. We just got the Spider-Ham and Spider...
SP-...
Yes.
DR. Which, hey, I was going to ask you a question. I'm just going to ask you right now on air.
Oh, great.
And you can talk about this, too, because you've been doing a lot of organizing of our Marvel Champions cards.
Yes.
And we bought some card dividers.
We did.
Where does SP-... DR fall in alphabetical order? Is it before the regular Spider-Man or after Spider-Man?
Well, I would say...
because it's kind of spider.
I would say dash.
Yeah,
is punctuation. And punctuation goes before the alphabet?
Before.
I think.
Okay.
So do numbers.
Uh-huh.
So I think it would be the first
It would come
in the line
first,
of spiders.
Or SPs.
Yeah, SPs.
Okay. Because Spectrum's thrown in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just curious.
So I think it would be actually before Spectrum.
I think so, too. I was just curious.
That sucks, because then it's going to break apart all the spiders.
All the spiders are... Oh, man. Well,
somebody confirm with us that rule.
Anyways, that was a tangent. I was going to ask you that today. But I was like, you know what? I forgot. So I'll just ask you now.
Perfect. Well, people are listening.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
We're educational, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we want to give you a little homework to look up some grammatical alphanumeric sorting rules. And then, so we played that as me and the kids. You jumped in.
I usually help the kids because we do not enjoy that game at 4 players.
Too long.
We probably don't even really enjoy it at 3, but we have 2 kids, so.
We're not going to make one of them sit in the corner. Wah, wah.
So I usually just help one of the kids, or both, to try to get their cards played properly. They're good at it.
They are very good.
For their ages. And sometimes they are just stubborn because they want to play the cool card, but it might not be the right card.
Correct. So, after Marvel Champions, we did Marvel United, and then we kind of transitioned back to some games that we had but haven't played in a while.
Which ones are those?
So the Harry Potter Hogwarts battle. We also did, which is a deck building card game. It is fantastic, especially if you at all somewhat care about the Hogwarts world.
The wizarding world?
Whoa. I knew I wasn't saying that right. Anyway, we've been playing that. And then to piggyback off the Wizarding World, we've been playing Harry Potter Death Eaters Rising game.
Which is impossible.
I love that game. And it's not impossible because I have won twice now.
Solo, 2-handed.
No. Like once solo 2-handed and then once with
the kids? Oh, okay. Cool.
Yes. And then we just taught them Quacks of Quedlinburg.
That's right, we did.
And
they took to it really well.
I know.
Our son, who's 6, loves numbers.
Yes.
So if you've played Quacks, it's all about numbers. He loved it.
He loved like the buying phase. And yeah, and our daughter loved it, and she did not like Cubitos, which is another push your luck game, but with dice. So I was surprised.
I think she's really into Harry Potter, which why you pulled those games off the shelf. Yes. So I think she likes the potion aspect
of it.
Yes. I think she can kind of picture herself in potions class or something.
Yeah. Hey, that's cool. And we've been playing the Kim Joy's Bakery, me and the kids. So it's been a board game education this summer.
You told me a story when I got home from work the other day about you played a couple games that day that made you so hungry because they were all food-based.
Yes, so our daughter bought, with her own money, she saw it on clearance at Target and bought a Taco Bell card game.
The Taco Pack, yeah.
Taco Bell Party Pack card game. It's Ravensburger. And did I say that right?
I think it's Ravens, but...
Ravensburger? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's German.
Sure.
Right?
I don't know. It's not Spanish.
Well, somebody check our facts on this episode. Anyway, she bought that, and so we played Taco Bell, and then we played Kim Joy's Bakery.
Which is all, yeah.
And I was like, is it lunch yet? And it's like 10:30.
The thing about that Taco Bell game is you try to feed people in your Taco Bell crew. That
sounds hardcore.
Not people who work at Taco Bell, but like your boys and girls who like you go to Taco Bell with.
Yeah, your crew.
When you get that late night, bong, and you got to go to Taco Bell.
Wow, you make it sound so spicy.
I know it is, and you just get Diablo sauce. Love it.
I was getting a real craving that day.
That was funny.
And I'm trying to convince Christian, all you out there, to maybe circle back around sometime soon and do a Harry Potter episode.
Oh.
With all of our Harry Potter themed games.
Kind of like we did with our Star Wars games.
Oh.
Transish.
Well, first, you need to tell us what's up.
Yeah, so with me, I went to a game night the other night with some friends and acquaintances. Sans Angela.
Yeah, he left me at home.
No, it was really fun. We played Cosmic Encounter, and we played Long Shot, the horse game, or dice game, whatever it is. I call it horse game, because once you've played that game, and you can just call it horse game, because then everyone knows what you're talking about. Because how many board games do you know or have that are about horses?
Oh, none.
Yeah. Maybe I was going to say My Little Pony game, but that's not horses. That's ponies that aren't real. So this one is about real horses.
Real?
Yes.
Okay.
It's loose. It's based on horse betting, and it's
Sure.
really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, it was a really good time. They hadn't played Cosmic Encounter before, and so I got invited to the group to come play. I kind of invited myself. I was like, "Hey, do you guys have room for one more?" And they're like, "Sure, of course." Do you know how to play Cosmic Encounter? They asked me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." Can you teach us Cosmic Encounter? I was like, "Oh, okay."
So all of a sudden, you invited yourself, and now you're the teacher.
Yeah, and I got not roped in, but I volunteered to teach everybody. So it was fun. We had a good time. I know I didn't get all the rules right because it's the first time. But you know what? I don't think anybody cared.
And that doesn't bother you.
No.
That still sends a little bit of down my spine. And I know that it's more fun, more important to just have a good experience around the table, and that even when you try your hardest, you're going to maybe miss a rule here or there.
Yeah, and I don't think the rules that I missed weren't game changing.
Okay.
It would be more like, oh, we actually could have played that card earlier than we played it rather than when we did. Stuff like that. It wasn't like altering the game.
Okay.
I hope.
Well, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if I can invite it back. And then we played Long Shot, and that was really fun. And every time that I've played Long Shot with people, they love it.
It's real fun.
Yeah, it's just really weird because I'll bring it places, and I'll be like, "Hey, did you bring any games?" It's like, "Yeah, of course. I brought Long Shot." Well, what is that? It's like, well, it's a horse racing game. And everyone goes, oh.
Now, recently, you tried to teach Long Shot to a group of people who may or may not have had too much to drink.
Oh, no, they definitely did. And it was
Okay.
also midnight
And it was midnight.
when we started to play.
So did that experience go well?
No, actually.
Okay.
It was awful.
Awful.
Yeah, because I was excited to play it. They're like, oh, we're going to play a Long Shot. And then, like, everyone was tired.
Yep.
Everyone had way too much to drink that day. We were in Mexico for a work retreat, and so like it was people from work. Hey guys, and it was a long day. So I don't fault them for it.
Right.
But like when you start something at 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. and it's like games have rules, and if you've never played it for you may not understand them all.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of times where I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm explaining this rule again for the fourth time at 12:20 a.m.
This is why I tend not to drink or even enjoy drinking when I'm playing a board game.
Yeah, I did lose that game still.
Oh my gosh, Christian. Do you think someone just didn't add correctly?
I don't know. I didn't care because I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to teach it to the best I can, and then next time we play, everyone will be much happier.
Okay, give us an update, though, now that you mentioned it, about your enjoyment of board games recently. Because last episode, you talked a little bit about how board games and losing has been so hard recently.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that a lot has changed in that area, but maybe it's trending upward.
Trending upward.
Yeah.
I like that.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. I had a lot of fun playing this Outer Rim expansion. Like,
Yes.
it's just a good game. It's like a comfort game.
For you.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, here's all my Star Wars friends.
Here they are.
Yeah, and let's just play. And then, even though I lost to you a couple times,
But
I was also learning. We were
Yeah.
learning the expansion. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, and then I had a good time playing Cosmic Encounter. I shared the victory with two other guys the other night, and then
would you call that a victory if you shared it?
no, I don't. I mean, if I would have won by myself, I would have been more. I would have trended higher.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just
Yeah.
kind of like, well, it wasn't my fault that I won. I don't know how to explain. If you played Cosmic Encounter, like the guy who ended the game just wanted to end the game, and so he asked for allies when he probably shouldn't have.
Okay.
And so because I allied with him, I was able to win.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's what happened to the other two guys too.
Okay.
And it was fine. He just wanted to end the game and play horse racing because
Play the horse game.
everyone wants to put money on, Sweet Georgia Brown, horse number 5.
Wow,
Yeah.
you named her.
So it's moving upwards. There's games that I want to play more of. I got a card game that I want to play. Android Netrunner. It's like the new version of that. We'll probably talk about that at a different time, but I really want to play that. I think that looks really fun for us because it's 2-player only and it's asymmetric.
Interesting.
Yep. But it is competitive, so I don't know how that will go.
It's fine. I think we've evolved a lot about the competitive
Since,
versus cooperative thing.
Since like Destiny days.
Yeah, since we started the podcast.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I mean, I'm playing not a lot more games, but I enjoyed the last few games that I played.
Cool.
Even
That's
though
good.
I didn't come out on the tippy top.
The tippy top. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anything else up? What's up?
Well, I guess we should say Gen Con is in like 2 weeks.
Woo!
Crazy. I remember my friend Jason, who I'm going with, we started a countdown when it got to 100 days.
Wow.
And so just for something stupid, every day we would send each other a GIF of the number of days that was left. So we would just search 52.
Yeah.
And the first thing that came up with 52, we would just send it. And when we got to 100, we were like, oh man, this seems like so long away.
Yeah.
And now we're like at 12.
That's crazy.
So looking forward to that. I really don't know what to expect. We're going to take the tips we got from our friend in the email a few months ago.
Yes.
About bringing toilet paper in your backpack and just snacks and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. I think maybe I might just record a couple things at the end of each day as a recap. Maybe throw those together in some sort of episode or reel or something. We'll see.
Yes.
I'm throwing around
nodding.
Throwing around ideas in my head. So
You should do that.
we don't know what that will be. Maybe Jason will join me for a couple of those.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited. There's not really anything that I'm looking to go buy, but I'm going to buy
Yes,
stuff.
I'm giving you a list.
Oh, what is on the list? Let's go over the list.
Nova.
Arc Nova. That's true. I am going to a party for that.
Yeah. So buy it.
I'm going to dress up as a
Elephant.
lemur.
Lemur. Okay.
Or my spirit animal, sloth.
A sloth.
Yep.
There you go.
Go listen to Critical Encounters.
Yes. All right. So when we come back.
What's else on the list? I want to know.
I think I want you to buy what's that new Pandasaurus game?
The nacho one?
Nacho chips.
Something like that.
It's releasing in September, but they're going to have copies at Gen Con.
Okay, I'll look for the Doritos.
It's a push your luck,
Oh.
but simpler
Yeah.
than Quacks. So less layered.
But maybe more spicy because they're tortilla chips.
Oh, maybe. I feel like there was another one, and now I'm forgetting it. So
Yeah, there's a couple that are on my list that I want to go see. I'm going to play a couple games. I think Dice Throne, which is funny because we tried it years ago, and it didn't really work. Or it did, but we just kind of were like, it's fine, whatever.
it worked. It just wasn't our favorite.
Yeah, but now they have a Marvel version, and that helps, us be more interested. But I also think the kids could really get into that one too. So I'm going to see. I'm going to demo it for sure because I signed up for that, and I don't know if it's for sale there. I'm kind of assuming it is, and if it is, that's one that I'm looking for.
Cool.
Yeah, bring
That'll
that one
be-
home to play.
I'm excited to see what treasures you bring home.
That's right. And I guess we should just ask, what are you guys looking forward to at Gen Con? If there's one that you're looking forward to, let us know.
Yeah.
Send us an Instagram message and, make us aware of what's out there.
Yes.
Because it's going to be overwhelming for sure.
Insane.
Yep. Well, cool. I interrupted you as you started the transition.
We'll be right back to talk about
Outer Rim.
Star Wars Outer Rim. This episode is sponsored by Showit. Are you stuck in a boring website template? Maybe you don't even know where to start. Experience the true creative freedom with the drag and drop simplicity of a Showit website. Our website, marriedandbored.com, is a Showit website, and we love how simple it is to create. Get started for free at showit.co. You won't be disappointed. All right, we are back, ready to talk Star Wars Outer Rim again, because we did talk about it before. Do you remember what episode that was, Christian?
I do, because I'm reading the notes here, but I wouldn't have. I honestly would have said it like episode 10.
Yeah.
But it was our 5th episode
Yes.
ever.
And
It
wasn't its own show. It was shared a show between Star Wars Destiny, Star Wars Rebellion,
Yeah.
and then Star Wars Outer Rim. So if you want to, you can go back and listen to episode 5. It's all Star Wars games, but we don't talk about Outer Rim until around like minute 47.
Yeah, it was like, to this day, one of our longest shows.
Yes.
It is episode 5. We just wanted to talk about Star Wars. I think The Mandalorian had just come out, or season 2, or something like that. And we were just like, we need to do something Star Wars.
Yes.
And we couldn't decide, so we just did them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few things that we talked about in that first episode, I want to circle back around to. But first,
Yeah, describe
maybe I
it,
should
and then
describe the game.
and then we'll go into some stuff we may have missed, or how our opinions have changed.
Yes. All right. Star Wars Outer Rim and the expansion, Unfinished Business. It is a 1 to 4 player game, and everyone is going to take on the role of a person in the Star Wars universe. It's a bounty hunter, or it could be a smuggler. And you're going to go around and you're going to deliver cargo. You're going to acquire crew. You're going to do jobs and get bounties and turn them in, all around the Outer Rim in, what would you call it? The Star Wars
Galaxy.
Yep. And then the first player to 10 victory points. That's the base game. This expansion adds a little extra side card victory condition that we'll talk about. But you can still play the expansion as just a first to 10 points.
Yeah, it's optional. The ambitions.
Yes. And that's the basic gist of it. Mm-hmm. So, the first time we talked about this game, first of all, we said it was for 2 to 4 players.
Whoops.
Whoopsie. It's a 1 to 4 player game.
Yeah.
There is a solo mode.
And it's been there the whole time.
It's been there the whole time. And I think I even knew that before, well, definitely before now. I can't say I knew it at the time of our last recording of episode 5. But
We probably did, and just for some reason in the whole craziness of the big episode, we might have forgot.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that's our first correction error.
Have you played the single player?
I have not.
No.
Well, because usually I play solo games
Yes.
when you are not interested in playing it with me.
That's true.
Like Robinson Crusoe and Abomination when they did the solo expansion. So those ones you're not super interested in.
True.
So I play them solo.
Okay. That makes
This
sense.
one you always want to play with me.
That's true. And the expansion adds another AI opponent. So you could actually play against 2.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Okay. So the first time we talked about it, we talked about it being immersive as like a medium, or I did. And I think I really underplayed this because we've talked recently about how immersive, when a game is immersive, what that means to us is how well does it build out the world that it's trying to live in.
Or the stories it tells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this one does a fantastic job. First of all, the board is a rim. It's a half circle. And every character is someone, from a Star Wars movie that it's very recognizable. And you actually pick people up and put them on your ship if they are your bounty.
And you have to have room for them.
You have to have room
Yeah.
on your ship. There's like a ship sheet.
Ship sheet.
Ship sheet. Don't say that.
I did
10
that
times
last
fast.
time.
Where you know what you're flying in. I don't know. I feel like I really downplayed how immersive it was in the first episode, and so I want to backtrack and correct that.
Why do you think your opinion changed? I think mine is probably the same, but I also have history, much more history with Star Wars and all those planets and names and people than you did. So it was always that
Yeah.
for me.
I feel like my definition of what an immersive game is has expanded.
Yeah, and the amount of games we've played since that episode, maybe.
Yeah, I think before my definition of an extremely immersive game only fit one mechanic.
Yeah,
Like
narrative game.
Narrative games.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's true anymore. I think if it does a very good job of building out the world it's trying to build.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what the mechanic is.
Like Long Shot,
Yeah.
it does a really good job of simulating a horse race and betting on it, which is
Yeah.
so dumb,
So
but so fun.
you know what? I've broadened my mind.
And shoulders.
Ooh, thank you. I think.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, it's good. I'm glad that you've turned the corner on that. Does that help you want to play the game more?
Yes.
Knowing that, like, oh, I can have this fun little, I don't know, episode of Hera Syndulla.
Yes.
When I play this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I'm more drawn to characters that I know more about.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. One of the new characters is Cad Bane in the expansion, and he was in Boba Fett. So
Yes.
that kind of helped, I'm sure.
Yes.
One of the things also that it's kind of like, I feel like it's a thing we say in almost every episode. We got to try this with more than 2 people. Now, to be fair, since we talked about it last, we've played it multiple times with 3.
Yes, we have.
And it's really fun.
It is.
It makes it much more, what's the word?
Interactive?
Yeah, I think so. And with 2 players, if you played the game, you have those the contact tokens spread across the rim. It takes a really long time to turn them over when you only have 2 players. If you add a third and then a 4th player, you're turning over those contact tokens way more often. And so, like, if you get your bounty for, Bo Shek or whatever his name is, you know where he is because player number 3 revealed him 2 turns ago, and you can
Yes.
get there right away rather than spending turns trying to figure it out.
Right. And I don't feel like when we sat down and played this as a 3-player, the 3 people that were around the table, Christian, me, and our friend John.
Yep.
We didn't play it very cutthroat, like against each other. We weren't like constantly trying to fight each other or steal each other's.
No, we don't.
Bounties.
We have yet to do that in this game.
Yeah. So we just noticed that there was just more times where the players interacted and it wasn't really cutthroat, but you could play it like that, I guess.
Yeah, I would like to actually, just to kind of like try it.
Yeah.
I feel like it fits. Well, to go back to the previous conversation, it fits the theme.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't Bosk attack that ship that has something he wants on it?
Sure.
He would do it,
Yes.
especially if he can get a lot of money out of it or fame.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that when we bring in the ambitions.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else? Oh, you mentioned that it's your favorite among Star Wars Rebellion, Star Wars Destiny, and Star Wars Outer Rim. You said Star Wars Outer Rim is your favorite.
Those were the 3 we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's still true. It's just like coming home.
Chicken noodle soup.
Because I will play Rebellion. I would say, I don't want to say at any time, but as we continually have said on the show, it's a huge time commitment. It's
Yes.
like a 2-night thing. And we don't always have that.
Right.
Rebellion it's a longer game. It's a good 2 hours.
You mean Star Wars Outer Rim?
Sorry. Outer Rim, yeah. Outer Rim is it's a longer game. It's a good 2 hours. Rebellion is like twice that.
Yeah.
So for us it's a 2-nighter, but yeah, I think Outer Rim is easier to pick up. It's easier to have the Star Wars experience, the little episodes that I mentioned.
Yep.
There's still a special place in my heart for Star Wars Destiny. Especially in the early days of that game, I loved it.
Yeah.
And once it like snowballed past me, I just couldn't keep up.
Right.
And obviously it's dead.
Now it is. Yeah.
So hey, FFG, I know you're listening. Duh. Let's do a Star Wars LCG co-op. Let's do it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be. I mean,
Like a Marvel champion.
yeah, I mean, you got Marvel Champions Arkham Horror. Let's do let's do
Yeah.
Star Wars, man. Let's go.
do it.
Let's go. What about you? Between those three, I'm assuming it's your favorite too.
Oh yeah, Outer
Yeah.
Rim is my favorite among those three. Rebellion, like you said, it's a great game. It's just like a once a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can't watch. Well, I shouldn't say can't. Maybe someone out there.
Careful.
Maybe someone out there can. It's like a movie that you loved, but you know you can't watch it day after day after day.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
just
get it.
too much.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. So yeah, it's for us. It's one of the better Star Wars games. There's Imperial Assault, which we also have, but that just fell super flat for us.
Yes.
And it's really cool to practice painting miniatures on.
There you go.
There you go.
That is why we bought the game, I guess.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Okay, so we're gonna talk now about the expansion specifically and
Yeah,
what
let's jump into it.
First of all, we should just say, what does it add? What does it include?
Yeah, so it's called Unfinished Business. So it provides new character. It like doubles the amount of characters you can choose from. New equipment, ships, jobs, cargo, crew. So
Okay.
everything, just basically everything in the original game, it like doubled it. Everything.
Everything you're shuffling, all those card
Yeah.
decks.
So if you think of like the market deck, all those colored cards that are in the center, if you set it up that way, there's double the amount.
Yep.
All of the encounter cards for each planet system doubled.
Yep.
And it adds probably the best part is the core world systems.
Yes.
Outer Rim is great because, like Angela said, it is an arc, which is cool and also annoying because it takes up a lot of space physically.
Yes. On
When
the
you set up
table.
this arch, it's probably, how far wide do you think it is? Like from the bottom of the arc to the other, like 2 feet?
2 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And probably 1 to 1.5
18
feet.
Inches? 18 inches
At
tall.
at its apex.
Yes.
Is that the correct math term?
The vertex of the parabola.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I think that's a Star Wars ship.
Oh.
Now boarding vertex of parabola. It just takes up a lot of
Yeah.
room. In the old game, if you were on the very bottom of, let's just say, the left-hand side of the arc, to get to the total opposite end, you had to fly. You had to follow the path
Yes.
through the arc. Excuse me. And it was not fun when you had, well, you would purposely just not take bounties to the other side of the world.
You would usually stay like in one half.
Yeah, a quadrant or half of it.
Yeah.
The core world systems changes the game.
It
Literally.
allows you to jump from one pot of gold at the end of the rainbow to the other pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
And it's great. And it does it thematically. You draw an encounter card. So maybe when you're crossing to the other side of this galaxy, you run into an Imperial blockade, or you get raided by pirates, or you find a lost derelict ship and you can pick a new ship for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a ton of stuff that we haven't even experienced all of it.
No.
That happens when you do that action. It's pretty
That
cool.
is a very cool addition.
Yep. It makes traversing it so much.
So much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else is added?
So there are
Expansion.
two variants that are the big changes to the game. One of them we touched on was the ambitions.
Yes.
And so what ambitions are, they are like,
goals.
yeah, they're like additional goals that you must accomplish to win the game.
Yeah.
Now it's not, you still have to do your fame. You still have to get fame. And in the game they recommend lowering the fame amount to 8
If you're
doing ambitions, because the ambitions, it's like a long-term decision and like quest throughout the whole game that you also have to complete to win the game. So you have to get your fame points, and then you also have to complete your ambitions, which range from like 3, or one of them might even have 2 steps up to 4.
Yeah.
And they're just varying difficulties. When you and I played, I had one that was, I was like was I the smuggler? I wish I had it in front of me. One of mine was very difficult to do.
Yes.
In the 2-player game, I had to deliver 3 illegal cargo in order to get 1 point off of my ambition chart.
Yes.
It was really difficult to find illegal cargo that game.
Because we weren't cycling through the deck.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it every turn because it's like, ugh, I also need a ship, because part of my other ambition is to get an expensive ship, upgrade it, put modifications on it. So like it was kind of like counteracting each other. And then yours, describe what yours was a little easier.
Yeah,
it seemed easier. It just probably was the game, but
mine was to encounter 2 nav points, which is just not stopping at a planet on your turn. It's just hanging out in space. So I had to do that twice. Mine was to have a ship with 3 crew members on it.
okay. And you got that so fast, I remember.
Well,
like you had your first ship other than the base ship, and you had 3 crew, and it was like, shit, done.
Well, no, that was my base ship because my character Maz allowed me to start with that ship.
Oh yeah.
Remember? Yeah. So, and another thing the ambitions do is they give you, what are they called? Keywords?
Yeah, attributes, basically.
Yeah, like influence, tactics, piloting, stealth. So they give you attributes as well as your character card.
In addition to the ones on your character. And they all give you a variable setup. So normally the game is set up in a specific way. The first player gets more money, or the less money. The second player gets a little bit more. Third player gets a little bit more. But in this one, depending on what ambition you choose, your setup is different.
Yeah.
So mine was like, I got 5,000 credits and a free upgrade, a specific upgrade for my ship.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started. Yours was much different. I don't even remember.
I think mine was to choose a 5,000 cost ship for free.
Oh, yeah.
And 1 fame? I don't remember. There was something else.
But it's just stuff like that kind of points you in the same direction as your ambition. So mine was about delivering illegal cargo. So I got an extra move value for free.
Yes.
So I could go faster, basically.
And anything... I'm trying to think if there's anything else besides the ambitions and the core worlds and all the additional cards.
Yeah, no, the other thing is that you and I didn't do very much is the favors.
Oh, the favors.
You can ask for favors from other players. And basically what that is I could ask you, hey, Maz, I need a favor. Can I use one of your tech upgrade, not your tech upgrades, but one of your attribute words for my skill test?
I tried for tactics one time, but you were like, I don't have tactics.
Yeah, you're like, do you have tactics? I need to borrow it. And I was like, no, I don't. So you can request, the skill. You can add an additional die to combat, which is kind of cool. And then you can borrow rep from your dials. And then you can get 1 extra movement point.
Yes.
And so you can negotiate the favors. So like, hey, can I use your tech attribute? I'll give you 2,000 credits.
Yeah.
Or I'll give you this cargo that I'm carrying. You're closer to Tatooine than I am.
Yeah.
you take this, and I can use your skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
And that's where the other part of the favors is debt tokens, which we did not use. It just didn't come up. But you can exchange them as a part of your favors.
Right.
And so, like, if you give me... So you could say, like, a debt token is... It's what it is. If I have your debt token, you owe me a debt.
Yep.
And I could cash it in at any time.
Yep.
And I could use one of those things for free, even if you don't want me to.
Right.
It's like, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you an extra movement point because I know you'll get to where you want to go.
Yes.
But it's like, no, I have your debt card. So.
And the interesting thing that we haven't experienced yet is in a 3 or 4 player game, you can trade people's debt tokens.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
If Christian had my debt token, he could say to whatever, the third player, hey, I'll give you Angela's debt token. So now I owe that third player a favor instead of Christian when I hadn't even planned it that way.
And you didn't want to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it can get pretty hairy in the...
Chewbacca.
Yeah. But we tried to use favors a little bit. It just never worked out.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of forgot about it because we were so into the ambitions.
Yeah.
And I think that's very cool. I think that adds a lot to it.
A lot.
But I was just like, well, I don't have that skill. And I never even thought to be like, oh, let me just ask you.
Right.
For 1,000 credits or whatever it was.
And I forgot one more thing because you talked about it in the last episode and then just now as we recapped, the encounter tokens, the contact tokens. Mm-hmm. So there's a new mechanic in this expansion that flips over some of them. Yeah, so it adds a new type of contact token. It adds an orange contact token, which is like legendary. Ooh. So you have gray. Think of it as like an RPG. Those who play it. Gray, crappy weapons. Green, good weapons. Yellow, superior weapons. And then orange, legendary. Whoops, sorry. And then, so those are like your Han Solos. Pretty much anybody you can be in the game is one of those orange tokens. They're harder to fight. They're harder to capture and kill. They are great if you get them on your team. Yes.
So it's pretty fun. But to answer your question is that the new mechanic helps you flip over more of those throughout the game.
Yes, and that's at the market. So if you've played Star Wars Outer Rim, the base game, when you flip over a card from the market because you bought it, you're going to move the patrols. And now along with this, you might also reveal an encounter token or a contact token.
In the system that you're in.
Yep. Yeah.
So it adds a lot to speed. I think that speeds up the low player count games, which is you and me.
Yeah.
That's 2. And then it just makes sense to help you figure out who's where on the board.
Yes. Especially since you have now these ambitions. Mm-hmm. It would be, I think, a little defeating to try to travel around the whole rim just to discover who's where. Although you do have the Core Worlds jump now, so that is helpful.
I did that just on purpose to see what would happen. I don't think I needed to do it. The few times we played, I was like, I'm just going to do it.
There was a couple of times I needed to do it, but that's my favorite part.
That's the biggest game changer.
Yes.
And fun fact and pro tip, patrols can't follow you across.
No, they
so
cannot.
If one is hunting you, you can jump across the core, and that rebel patrol who's chasing you down, it can't jump to come find you. Hopefully the ones on the other side you're a little bit more friendly with.
Yeah.
But
it's going to start making its way around the rim again to try to find you.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that we've talked about what it includes, we've also talked about what we enjoy about what it includes. Anything else you want to add to that? Like, are there any more highlights?
I just think the variety of characters is great.
Yeah.
We haven't played them all. I'm excited to try them all. I love the new ships. Seeing Ghost on there is really cool. There's a ship on there that I don't know whose it is. I think it's Enfys Nest or whatever her name is from Solo. I think it's her ship.
Oh.
I don't know. But there's another tier of ship that's $25,000
Yes.
credits. 20 used to be the highest. So there's a couple that are more expensive. I don't even think either of us have purchased one of those yet. So I like that. And yeah, the core world jump changes everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yes. Are there any things that we didn't like about the expansion or that made it less desirable than the base game?
I think if you have Outer Rim already, this is like a no-brainer. Like,
Yes.
it's going to add so much content. Like, it doubles it, like we said, that there's no reason not to get it. You've probably gone through every single nav point card and encounter card at least once. And the great thing about this game is it's not the same ones in the same order every time.
Yes.
And this just adds that much more variety. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I cannot think of a low light for this expansion.
Well, I do have a little bit of beef with the expansion.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say. I know exactly what you're going to say.
Look, bounty hunting is a complicated profession. I heard that somewhere. Why isn't the Mandalorian in this game?
Yeah,
Din
that's
Djarin.
Huge.
Why
miss.
isn't he a character? They've got all these characters, which all of them are fine and great. But it's just like, come on. This guy's got to be in it.
I know.
You got to have a Baby Yoda cargo. How cool would that be?
Amazing.
Like, and even if it was just like not Boba Fett, like who'd be like, who doesn't make sense? Like IG-88 goes and picks up
yeah.
Baby Yoda, and he gets, I don't know, he either can bounty him or add him to his crew. It would just make me happy if they did that. So again, I know you're listening, FFG. I'm going to be in Gen Con in 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Just really quick, spin up, 3D print, whatever you got to do. Let's do a Mandalorian little promo for Outer Rim. So you get a ship sheet, you can get the Razor crest, or even the new one that looks like the Naboo Starfighter. I don't care.
Okay.
Give me some Baby Yoda cargo or bounties or contact tokens.
Okay.
What else? What else would you do?
Who's that fun lady that always repairs his sheet?
Yeah, that would be a good cargo.
Yeah.
I don't know what her name is, but she's great. I dated a Jawa once.
Loved it. Yeah. I think it's a huge miss.
Yeah.
That they didn't include the Mandalorian.
I know we're not alone in this.
No. And I feel like there's got to be a reason.
It's not even a timeline thing. Because if you look at the span of characters that they chose, like, he fits in this timeline.
Yeah.
Because it's just right after Return of the Jedi that he is alive and doing the Mando stuff. But, like, Chewie's still around. Bosk, we don't know. I mean, he's got to be around somewhere. Like, Boba, like,
Yes.
Come on.
The expansion is called Unfinished Business, and we feel like there's still
Yeah, there is
unfinished
still
business.
unfinished business. Come on.
Where is he?
Another thing that I would love to do, I do have a 3D printer. I feel like it'd just be fun to add, like, miniatures. Just personally, like, I don't think every game needs one, but I think because this is, like, you know, the cool side of the pillow video game, board game.
Yes.
Like, it would just be fun to have miniatures on this board.
Okay. For contacts?
No, just for your player.
Just for your player.
Yeah, that'd be too much.
Yeah.
Too much. Just for your player. Like, I was trying to debate, like, would you want your ship and your player person? It's like, I don't know if you really need both.
Right.
But just like a cool one of the person you chose
Yeah.
would be kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree with
Or
that.
patrols. Patrols would be nice because I don't know where they are all the time.
They are the same shape as the contact tokens,
Yeah, similar.
right?
Similar.
Okay.
But
So
it's flat. Everything is flat.
Yes.
Except the players. But if there was like a raised TIE fighter or whatever, so you're like,
Yes.
there's the Imperials right over there. I have
Yep.
to be careful. Because a few times, you move and you're like, oh crap, I can't go through that space.
Yeah.
Because they're there. So if you know of any files out there, send them my way.
Send them Christians.
What about you? Do you have any lowlights besides my Mandalorian rant?
No, that's it. That I remember when this game, the expansion was announced, when we watched the announcement. And I feel like they said something about it. I don't know. I feel like at that time we had this conversation like, what? It's not going to have Mando?
Like, why is he not here?
Yes. I mean, it just it doesn't make sense. It makes me think they like weirdly didn't have
Rights?
rights to him specifically.
Who knows?
I don't know, because he fits right in this world. He's a bounty hunter. This is what the game is about. Jobs, bounties, cargo.
That's what that show is.
I mean, there's so many Star Wars characters. I don't know why he's not in it.
Hey, me neither. So, FFG, again, I know you're listening. Do it. Just like
Now.
Just like Emperor Palpatine said, do it. Ooh. Anything else you want to say about unfinished business? Do you have any unfinished business about unfinished business, Ange?
That's it. I've gotten everything out that I need to get out.
Okay, great. Obviously, guys, we love this game. We think that this adds so much content to this game. And I think one thing that we are realizing about games in general and this show is that we like games that tell good stories. And like this adds so much to be able to tell good Star Wars stories.
Absolutely. If you have the base game, and even if you don't, go out and buy this and also the base game.
You did have to follow that up a little bit.
I
but
know,
yeah.
because it's not a standalone game.
No.
I just meant you should buy this game.
It's fun.
We love it.
It's a good one. All right, guys. Thanks again for listening to our unfinished business.
I was going to say, did you forget the name of our podcast? But you were trying to
No,
think.
I was going to say Outer Rim, but I was like, no, we're actually talking about the specific expansion to Outer Rim. You know how it goes.
How your brain works?
Yeah, it doesn't. That's how it works.
And we like to end on a note outside of board games.
Yeah. What are we doing besides board games? There's a lot else in this world that can bring people joy besides this hobby.
Yes.
And, we dabble.
We do dabble in other things. Mm-hmm. You want to go first?
I'll let you go first because I think I'll just piggyback on this because we went through a streak of doing this
Oh, you're reading my notes.
together.
Okay. Well, the first thing I was going to say, and I don't think you're referring
No,
to
not this part. No, I'll go to the part 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christian will jump in at part 2.
You'll realize really fast why this is not my thing.
Something that's been bringing me joy is organization.
Okay.
I have organized our pantry. Mm-hmm. I have organized in Arizona, we don't need a coat closet.
No.
So I have transformed it into like
Utility closet?
like a cleaning closet.
It's got our floor cleaner, it's got like I don't know, the only thing I know that's in there is a drawer of knives.
Oh my goodness. No, it's beware of our drawer of knives. It's got the toilet paper, the paper towels,
Gotcha.
the facial tissue, and everything's in like nice little bins or baskets, and same with the pantry. And I'm working on some organizing in our bedroom, so that's been bringing me joy.
Yeah, I will say that whilst I was teaching tired and inebriated friends,
Yes.
long shot in Mexico, you rearranged and cleaned the office which we were recording in.
Yes, I
and
did.
it looked very nice.
It looked beautiful.
So I want to ask you.
Back.
I want to ask you right now. It has been 2.5 weeks since I've returned.
Yes.
And I've worked in it for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
How does it look? Have I done an okay job of keeping everything together-ish? Or
Yes.
if you had to look around the room and say that thing should not be here, or besides, let's just say garbage, because I see a pop can on my desk.
Okay.
What when you come in here, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that.
He still has not gotten rid of this random hockey puck sitting on his desk. I put it there. I was going to throw it because I purged a lot of stuff. And then I was like, no, he must have saved this for something. And I don't know where to put it. So I'm just going to put it right on his desk. And when he comes home, he's going to know exactly what to do with this. Mm-hmm. Nope. Still sitting there.
That hockey puck is probably from 1973. I think my dad gave it to me.
Put it somewhere then.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Put it somewhere.
So I've done pretty good. I would say that's like, what, an A minus?
Oh, yeah. That's an A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime. And the second thing that has been bringing me joy is true crime TV.
True crime TV. We skipped the true crime podcast phase, and we went straight into the miniseries.
We did a little true crime podcast.
Years ago.
You did.
Ad Nod. Or whatever it was called, Serial. Yeah.
And then we both did Dr. Death.
Oh, yeah. And didn't we do The Staircase?
That's not a podcast.
How did we learn about that then?
Documentary? No.
Podcast?
No.
I don't know. Probably a documentary.
Yeah, I feel like it was.
It's hard now because there's the miniseries, and it's all kind of like
it was
confusing.
a Netflix documentary.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been on Hulu specifically. We watched The Girl from Plainsville.
Yep.
We watched Candy.
We
watched There's Something About Pam.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And we watched The Act.
The Act. Yes. That's 4. We did 4 true crime miniseries probably like in a month.
Yeah.
It was pretty wild. And they got progressively crazier. I would say.
Yeah, a little bit like, oh, okay, I need a break.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first one, Plainsville, is good.
It is good.
It's depressing because of the content.
Yes.
And if you know what
crime.
It's crime, but it's also like it deals
Suicide.
with suicide and depression.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of that, obviously. And so it's like, oh, is this good? It's good. We can call this good TV. Like, it's just hard to
put words to it.
Yeah, you wrestle with that when you watch that. And then we watched Candy, which was insane.
Yes. But also I thought very well done.
It was very well done. Yeah.
And then it was
What's Up with Pam,
which was so different at first because it has the Dateline voice.
Yeah, there's like
narrating the show.
It's like Arrested Development a narrator, but it's the guy from Dateline.
Yeah.
And you'll never believe who walked in next.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. That was.
And then we ended with The Act, which was just really hard to watch. So there you go.
Yeah, check them out. If you like that stuff, let us know which ones we should watch next. Maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Question mark?
Do we need a little break?
Yes, it's time to give it a break. Watch a comedy.
Yeah, that's true. We have been watching Veep, and that's really funny.
Yes.
That's a good one.
So, everyone, I'm so glad you joined us for Star Wars Outer Rim again.
Unfinished business.
That's right. If you like our show and enjoy it, please leave us a review on wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, iTunes, Amazon,
Yeah.
Stitcher. I don't think we're on that, but do it there anyways.
Oh, okay. And we just, as always, love to hear from you, whether it's in comments on Instagram, direct messages on Instagram, whether it's through our email or our website form. Or Twitter. I almost forgot.
Twitter, you got to remember Twitter, at Married
man.
Board. We are just skyrocketing up the Twitter sphere. Tens of followers.
Tens.
It's amazing.
All right, guys. Until next time, may the Force be with you.
And also with you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram at marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.